In South Carolina tonight, troubles are mounting for Rebecca Hill, the embattled court clerk who oversaw the trial of convicted murderer Alec Murdoch. Now, Hill is now facing accusations of plagiarism from her own co-author. Neil Gordon co-wrote Hill's book called Behind the Doors of Justice. And he said today that he discovered the plagiarism after reviewing newly released emails of Hill's that show she lifted writing from a BBC reporter. He immediately halted sales of the publication. Now, a quick check on Amazon shows the link to the book has indeed been pulled. It is no longer available. At issue in the tell-all memoir on the Murdoch trial is a passage in the preface. Now, Gordon says that Hill took it from a draft article the BBC reporter mistakenly emailed her. In a statement today, Gordon wrote, quote, "When I confronted Becky about this, she admitted she plagiarized the passage due to deadline pressures." And this comes as Hill already faces scrutiny after Murdoch's legal team accused her of jury tampering. For more on what this could mean for both Hill and Murdoch, we do want to bring in NewsNation legal contributor Jesse Weber and trial attorney and legal analyst Misty Marris. Welcome, both of you. And Jesse, let's start with you. Hill already under an enormous amount of scrutiny due to allegations of jury tampering from Murdoch's defense team. Could this impact Murdoch himself? Could this help him get a new trial?
Well, it certainly doesn't hurt his chances, but remember, how does it directly affect the idea of him getting a new trial? When we talk about him getting a new trial, it's all about, did Becky Hill say or do something that influenced this jury in their decision? Now, on the face of it, if she plagiarized her book, that doesn't really affect the question. What it can say, and what I think Murdoch's attorneys will say, this is really bad judgment. This is somebody who would do anything to try to sell a story. So whether it was getting a verdict that she wanted by influencing the jury or taking passages that didn't belong to her, this is somebody that had a story to sell, a book to sell, and this kind of goes to that overall narrative.
Misty, let's go over to you. How does this impact Murdoch?
Yeah, brilliant points by Jesse. And to take it a step further, let's remember where we are in that process of Murdoch's potential new trial. Right now, the defense has raised these allegations of jury tampering and other impropriety directly relating to Becky Hill. And where it stands with the court is prosecutors have submitted what's called an answer and asked for Murdoch to not get a new trial for this to be thrown out, or in the alternative, an evidentiary hearing which would really dig into these allegations for a judge to determine whether or not there was any truth to them. Now, that's really critical here because the prosecutors heavily relied on an affidavit from Becky Hill to contest the defense version of what happening with the jury tampering charges. So here, with that particular aspect of the case, it could speak to Becky Hill's credibility, who it appears is going to be one of the prosecution's big witnesses and critical witnesses at that evidentiary hearing. So they'll be able to impeach her credibility with respect to her truthfulness using this issue regarding the plagiarism. So it definitely will have an impact on that moving forward.
That's an interesting point. Jesse, I want to go back over to you. Could Rebecca Hill face any legal ramifications after admitting that she did indeed plagiarize parts of this book?
Well, look, plagiarism in and of itself is not a crime, right? But it can sort of make you open to different kind of legal liability. If you took somebody else's work, then you're dealing with issues of copyright infringement. If she had some sort of contract, then it could be a contractual claim. At the end of the day, if you took someone else's work, and by the way, reading these documents, there are parts of it where, I mean, she took word for word from this BBC reporter. It's really upsetting to see. Would it be a situation where she's sued and has to disgorge any of her profits, of any? I mean, it's something to think about. But I think at the very least, what this opened up, and all of these emails show, is problematic behavior by this court clerk. I got to tell you, of all the cases I've covered, I have never seen so much questionable attention being put on a court clerk before.
And Jesse, to that end, I mean, Gordon made the discovery after this trove of Hill's work emails were made publicly available by county officials. Is it possible there will be other smoking guns in these emails?
Why not? I mean, what have we already seen? And these are not even all of her emails. What we do know is that all of her emails have been sent to different authorities that are investigating her. But think about what's been discovered. There are now allegations that she misappropriated public funds, that she gave herself bonuses, which would potentially be a violation of South Carolina law because a court clerk cannot pay themselves bonuses. It would have to be a county council that would do that. So every time we're learning new information about her or her family members, there seems to be problems for Rebecca Hill. So I wouldn't be surprised if we learned something new from these emails.
And Misty, let's follow up with you on that question. I mean, Hill also faces these 2 ethics complaints filed that reference her writing and promoting the book. Could her emails be used against her on these complaints as well?
Absolutely. That electronic footprint is going to be some of the most critical evidence relating to those ethical inquiries. And as Jesse said, there could be other potential legal liabilities, not only civil, but potentially criminal, depending on what is found in these emails. Think about it, Natasha. This is her day-to-day at work emails that have been sent and received, and that's really going to be the map that they're going to look at, especially with that ethics inquiry, to determine whether or not there's been impropriety. Because the Murdoch issue is only one aspect of this. There's other potential issues relating, obviously, to her employment and all of these other investigations that are taking place relating to her conduct. And keep in mind, this could go way past Murdoch. This could go back to other trials where she's sat in this position as court clerk, and who knows what can of worms could be opened now that these documents are available.
It's very interesting. All right, Jesse and Misty, it's always great to see you. Have a great evening. Thank you.